Hello, it's Karen Burniston here with a fun card for our Brutus Monroe collaboration week. Projects from both teams this week have focused on a combination of the two brands. So for my pop-up card today, I'm going to show a cool technique for doubling the Katherine label pop-up, and I will decorate it with the Brutus Monroe Topsy Cakes stamp set. So the first thing I did was pick papers. I found these three beautiful Kaiser craft papers, and I used this one to determine how I would color my cakes. So I took my Topsy Cakes stamp set, I used my Misty to stamp it in black onto some white cardstock, and then I used my Prismacolor colored pencils to color all those cakes to kind of match the colors of the paper, and then just fussy cut them with my scissors. And then just a dark Copic marker, any kind of brush marker around the edges to get rid of any little bits of white that remain. I decided on a cute little card, 4.5 by 4 when folded. So that means I started with a 9" by 4" piece of brown cardstock, scored it in the middle for folding. And for my paper, I took 3/16 off the height and the width. So each one is 4 5/16 by 3 13/16. I'm just using my tape runner to add those papers inside the card. So I'll come close to but not cross the fold in the middle so the paper doesn't bunch. That way the card will open up nice and flat. And then my final piece of pattern paper, also cut to that same size as the interior panels, will just go on the front of the card. And again, I'll just use a tape runner. The die I'm using is the Katherine label pop-up, and it has this L-shaped pop-up piece, and I'll need 2 of them for my card. So I'm going to cut these from my leftover brown patterned paper. You can use any die cutting machine that can accommodate a wafer thin die, and today I am using my Sizzix Big Shot. The mechanism of the Katherine label is a very easy assembly. It has 6 score lines in it, and every single one of them is a mountain fold, which means you're folding away from yourself. So if you work all those folds first, and then a little trick that I show in the Katherine label video, which you're welcome to do, is to mark an X on your 2 outermost panels on both pieces. Those are the panels that will get adhesive to assemble the platform. But again, on both of them, you're just going to work all the folds, all 6 folds, as mountains. So step 1 for assembly would be to attach the tapered tab to the other side, which creates that box on the side of the platform. I'll use my fine tip bottle. It's filled with LINECO neutral pH adhesive. We do sell both of those items on our website. And I will just add some adhesive in that tapered tab, and then that attaches to the other side of the platform. Easiest to do that by flattening it down. Give a second for the glue to set up, and then you'll have that little box out there on the end of the platform. And then we'll do the same thing with the other one. So just some glue in the tapered tab, and then bring it around to the other side, give it a second to set up, and then you'll have that box. So let's attach the first platform in the card in the usual manner, which means some adhesive in that triangle X panel out on the end, so that panel will just get coated with adhesive. And then where that triangle will attach to the card is just to the left side of the fold. I like to go up near the top for this, but technically this platform will work anywhere along the fold, so you might have a different idea in mind. Just the triangle is glued down. You can see the rest of it, although it travels right along the fold, is just loose in the card. Now, it's not the first diagonal fold that we'll use to fold our platform, it's the second. If we fold on that second diagonal line, it will bring the bottom half of our platform over to the left where we can collapse it flat. And you should see the smaller panel up near the top. If you see the smaller panel near the bottom, reverse it because you want it up at the top. That's the panel that is going to get adhesive. So after coating our short panel with adhesive, we would want to then close the right side of the card against that flat mechanism. So keeping it flat, we're going to fold the right side of the card against that exposed adhesive. So I do have a bit of a patience problem. I don't always wait long enough for my glue to set up, so I'm just going to make sure that I really press it down when I open that card that first time. Make sure that I've got a good connection on the base of that platform. But that is the Katherine label platform. So it's really easy to install. It's a fun mechanism. You can place things up on top of that platform and get some really cool action inside the card. But then this little diagonal fold that's created by the platform is going to be our new card fold for our second platform. So let me turn this card around so that you can see what I mean. Let's assume that that little tiny fold is the center fold of our new card. So even though we have just an itty bitty bit of fold, it is enough to build that Katherine label platform. Because remember, when we attach a Katherine label, the only part of the platform that gets attached to the left side of the fold is that little triangle. And there's enough room for that. So I'll add my adhesive to my triangle, and I'm just doing the exact same thing I did with the big card. I'll put the triangle on the left side of the fold, lined up right with the fold, so that the rest of the platform basically travels along the fold of our imaginary card, right? So it's going straight down like this. And that's our imaginary fold. Okay, so then I don't fold on the first diagonal, I fold on the second diagonal. And of course I'm up in the air here because I'm missing the whole left side of my card, right? But I need to make sure that the short panel is up. See, it's up on the top. Remember, this is just what we did before, but I am going to need to lay this card down so I can see what I'm doing. So just like normal, I'm going to add my glue to that upper short platform of the box, coat that with adhesive. But now instead of just folding the left side of that card, I basically need to close the entire card because that's what's going to close my little short card and move that platform over to the left side of the card, which is where it needs to attach. So just making sure my glue is set up, I can open that card up, and now you can see what happens. You basically have two platforms. The first one comes up, and in opening that fold, it brings up the second one as well. Okay, from here it is just decorating. Now the Katherine label comes with a bunch of labels, nice generic labels that can be used to go on top of the platform. So I'll add the glue to the top of the left platform. And then what I want to do to make sure that I put the label in a spot that's hidden is I'll actually close the card but peel back the upper part so it doesn't get into my glue. Then I can choose a location that I like. The goal being, of course, to keep it within the card limits. Then I can do the same thing on the other side. The glue up on the upper platform. Once again, kind of partially close the card. That way I can really gauge that I'm putting my label in a location that will be hidden by the card in the closed position. I like it to be out as far to the right as I can get it so it stays out of my mechanism. Okay, but here's what's funny about me doing it like this. I had to take both of those labels off my platforms because I had not yet decorated them with my cakes, which were taller than the labels themselves. And of course I needed those labels to be low enough to hide the tops of the cake. So I did have to start over again. So my advice to you is to decorate. If you're doing tall items, decorate those labels before you put them on the platforms. But it wasn't a huge deal. I just pulled them off of there, decorated them, and then put them back up on those platforms. So then I just finished out the card with those same labels and stamps on the front, a few sequins added around the piece on the inside. The greetings I chose from the stamp set were wishing you a giant slice of happiness, happy birthday to you. All of that just comes on that same Topsy Cakes stamp set. So this uses just one die set, one stamp set. So this video is actually part of a blog hop that we are doing, and if you will follow the link either in the About section below this YouTube video or floating in your upper right corner, you can head on over to my blog where you will find pictures of this card, full supply list, shopping links, as well as links to all of the other design team members who are participating in the hop. Big thanks too to Brutus Monroe and their incredibly talented design team. It's been so fun to see what their designers have come up with using our products together. If you click on the website link, you'll go to KarenBurniston.com where you can find out information about purchasing these dies as well as links to all my other social media accounts. You can subscribe to this YouTube channel and check out some of my other videos. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.